Hello everybody, and welcome back to another Fundamental Games gameplay. Today I'm going to play through a game called Dungeon Brawler by Patrick Peterson. It is live now on Kickstarter, and I've tested through it a couple of times, and I didn't want to download a video till I've tried it out. So I tried it out a few times, and now I'm here to give it a real playthrough, hopefully start to finish if time permits. Don't want this video to be too long. So to rush through the description, you are a band of adventurers, depending on how many players you have, and you get to choose which of these four main class characters you want to be. We're going to keep it easy. I played with this one already, so I'm not going to play with that one this time. We'll just go old school, play with the fighter, and see what happens. So what you do is you pick your main class card, and then the rest of these cards all disappear. So they go away for the rest of the game. And so you can tell already there's variation in gameplay because you could pick each of the four different classes in four different games when you're playing solo. Your main class card gets combined with what we call element cards. So element cards are ways to do extra damage as a combo. And then if you are playing, sorry, you don't combine them. If you're playing solo, you add 3 cell swords to your party. If you're not playing solo, there'll be an additional player hero for each actual player of the game. Then from there, we take our 3 elements, and I've got 1 extra torch here, so I'll throw that away. Oops, that's a life potion there. So we're supposed to have 5 torches. I'm just going to search this, make sure that shows 5 torches. Yes, it does. So I take those 5 torches and they become my deck. You'll also see here we have some potions. These stay on the gameplay, or on the game mat, and if a player dies, then they have to quaff one or drink one, and that will revive them. If you run out of potions in this game, if you run out of life potions, you are a loser. You lose the game. Alright, so then what you do, shuffle these guys up and put them in these stacks in the order that they appeared in. So it's supposed to be random how you start the game. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to flip over my deck, shuffle that up, and that's the start of the player side of things. Everything is set up there. Then we go to the dungeon side of things. So at the end of the dungeon, there's going to be 1 of 3 boss monsters. Which one you fight will be determined randomly after you face the boss door. But first, you have to take this deck, shuffle it up. It's the dungeon part of the deck, so all of these are dungeon cards, and you have to slide the boss door into the deck. Oh, sorry, and these corridors also go into the deck. They should have been in the deck already. It's just a rules clarification, so I'll fix the upload after. So we will shuffle those, and then we take the top 6 cards, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we put the boss door in it and shuffle them up. This reminds me a lot of what you do with Epidemic, is you put certain cards in at certain parts of the deck. Then you put the rest of the deck on top, so we know that we're going to have to deal with a lot of cards before we get to that boss monster. Over here we shuffle up the loot deck, and what we had to do here is build our dungeon. So you can see steps 1 through 4. This is the party side, so only the party will ever be on this side of the mat. And this side is the dungeon, so only dungeon cards are allowed to be on this side of the mat. So where cards are sequenced in any part of the dungeon, whether it's the party or the dungeon side, will have a significant impact on card effects and gameplay. And you'll see that as we play out. These shield tokens are going to represent damage, the cracked shields I have here. And in the real game, it actually is a card that slides under each character or creature, and it slides up and down depending on the damage that's been dealt. But for ease of play on a digital version, it's hard to slide cards under without the card beneath popping up. So instead we are going to just use these tokens. I'm sure when you play the game at home you might prefer tokens over the card, but I believe the card makes it a lot cheaper to make the game and cheaper to ship the game and package it. So that's kind of a cost thing. As a first game designer, I completely understand where Patrick's coming from that part of game design, whereas other games may have used a wound token or a heart token. Alright, so the game is set up. What are the loot cards for? They will be added to your deck for different reasons and be used up by cell swords. So there we go, we have our dungeon, the game is set up. It's pretty quick to set up digitally. Physically it might take 5 minutes to do a bit of shuffling and laying out. And the playmat itself is just something I designed for this visual, for this game. You don't have a playmat with the game. Okay, so then we go into turn sequence. What happens? I draw 5 cards at the beginning of the game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I ever have more than 5 cards at the end of my hero's turn, I will have to discard. Then we start the turn. I must perform the Sellsword's ability. That's the only ability he has, is to use his ability. And what it says is if he's on step 1 through 4, which he always is, he has to move his card a space. He doesn't have a choice, either forward or back. When he moves forward, he moves whoever's in front of him back, and vice versa. Then I can destroy a card in the loot row. And just so you know, I'm going to activate that power almost every turn to try to get through the game relatively quick. And whatever creature he kills, you'll see on his card there, he'll deal X damage equal to the cost of the destroyed card. So cost of 3, cost of 5, cost of 3, and he has to fight this guy, the dire rat. So if he were to discard this Foretelling Scout, I'm sure it might be a good card, but he's going to kill this rat for it. And so when he kills that guy, he does not get the spoils. I just need to clarify if it gets scored. Sorry, just going to double check that. Important part of the game is if you score creatures, because then it seeds your deck with disposable cards. Go under attack. Use damage to damage is cumulative. If defeated by a player hero, that player follows the effects listed under the card spoils. Collapsed heroes, ally heroes. If an ally hero defeats a monster, the monster is destroyed. Do not follow its spoils. So it's destroyed, which means I do not put it in my deck. So that kind of gives me a bit of an advantage because I don't want creatures in my deck. Well, I guess you could if you want to discard things, but so we slide that over there. That guy's been defeated. This does not fill up right away. This doesn't happen until the end of the turn. Then we go to the next person in sequence, which happens to be this guy. When you move back a sequence, you still take your actions. So on a player hero's turn, which is a colored card, they draw a card, and then they can move if they want to. So we're going to move this guy. And then they can perform their action or they can attack. His action would be to move to card space 4. Then he can score a card. If he does, he can attack to the nearest monster. So when it says nearest monster, it doesn't mean it has to be next to him, just the nearest one in the line. There are no monsters to attack, but I can still move them up to space 4 if I wanted to, which would shift these two down. And I'm allowed to score a card. So what does scoring a card do? It takes a card from your hand and puts it into your score pile, which right now doesn't do anything, but later on if you get these cards in your hand, they can buy other cards that match the color. So you can see I put them up an inch. That represents them being exhausted, kind of like tapping in Magic. It means, you know, signifying that they've been used this turn. Then this guy's going to go, and this guy's going to go. So they both have to move back and forth, but they're the same card, so it doesn't really matter. And then they can destroy up to 1 card, so it means you don't have to destroy a card, and they can attack the nearest monster. There's no more monsters there, so nothing else happens with them this turn. From there we go to my loot phase. Just going to make sure I'm reading that correctly. So rounds and turn action phase, beginning with the card in space 1, go through. Oh, so loot phase doesn't happen until after the dungeon monsters. I was playing that incorrectly before, in my last game, sorry. Just gonna reference it. Loot phase, can buy from the loot row. Okay. So we continue down the road. If there is a card in 5, we would have to read it. If there's a card in 6, it says if it has a 5 and then I destroy this card. As soon as it shows it has a 5, it means it doesn't do anything this turn. So that'll happen next turn when it moves up. Same with this one is a 5, and this one is a 5. So nothing else happens in the dungeon row. We would then go to the loot phase, in which case I could redeem these to buy these, but I don't have anything to redeem. So what's in there goes to my discard pile. And then we go to the refresh and refuel part of the game where each of these resets. These all slide over to the left. It's always to the left. You flip over the next card, and same with the loot row. Slide it over, flip over the next card. So very straightforward mechanism, efficient, and makes it easy to understand the game. Potions, nothing changes, and then we proceed to the next turn. So you can see now there is no creatures in this deck at all, which means my sellswords are just going to be jumping around doing nothing. So he would jump there, he would jump there, he might jump there, pushing this guy back here. This guy would go forward, pushing this guy back here. If I'm playing fast, I apologize. I just want to make sure I don't have a 2-hour gameplay session for you guys to watch. So those guys all do their turn, and then we're up to Killforge. So Killforge will draw a card, don't have a choice there. And then he can move to spot 4 and attack. There's nothing to attack. And then, or I could do an attack move of my own, but again, there's nothing to attack. So his turn is basically over. But I have more than 5 cards in my hand, so I have to discard a card. We will discard a torch. Alright, then what happens? We go to the dungeon side. So it says it's a 5, destroy this card. Each player draws 3 cards, then scores 2. So that is a treasure chest. That's a good thing. Maybe not at this point in the game, but I would draw 3 cards. If I have anything left in my deck or my discard pile, I flip it over, shuffle it, and draw them. So now I have a really big hand for next turn because I've already done my discard phase. And then this goes in the discard pile over here. So tap that. Alright, just have to look at something real quick. Where were we? Yeah, so we're still going through. That was discarded. Then we look at this guy. He says if he's in 5, that's a 5 card, and that's a 5 card. So all of these are going to move over. And as you can see, not much is going to happen until I can get those 5s used up. But we do have a creature to interact with next turn. Nothing to change in the loot, nothing for the potions. My cards refresh. And then I start my next turn. So the sellsword. I think I'm going to save my attack. What do I have? 2, 4, 6. Alright, so the sellsword moves up, so I'm just going to push this one up to represent that. He can get rid of a card from the loot pile, so I'm going to get rid of this Bane card, so we're going to tap it. That's going to do 3 damage to this guy. 1, 2, it's the nearest monster, and he's the only monster. I haven't read any monsters with defensive powers, so anybody you deal damage to basically takes the damage, unless I find something I haven't interacted with yet. So he's done his turn by moving up. This guy would move up, push that guy back. I'm not going to do his action. He's going to do the same thing. And then we go to Killforge. So Killforge, on my turn, I draw a card. There's no cards left in my deck to draw, so I can't do anything there. Then I can attack to the nearest monster with his ability, or I can attack with my torch. So might as well use Killforge. He's got extra attack. Well, I'm allowed to score a card, but there's nothing in my hand worth scoring. Okay, so I attack. If I use his 2 attack, I'm allowed to chain cards onto it that say combo. So you can see here the third word in the center says combo plus 2 damage. So I'm doing 2 damage to the nearest monster, plus 2, plus 2. So that's now 6 damage, which is enough to kill this guy. So then these cards will go to my discard pile over here. This guy will take his other 6 damage, so effectively dead. And if you read him, Spoil says score this card, draw 2 cards, and then score 1. So I score that monster. I draw 2 cards, which are going to be these 2 cards again. Where's draw 2 cards, and then draw 2 cards, then score 1. So I have to put a card from my hand into the score pile, even if it doesn't do anything. Okay. So I guess I just have to check something in the rules again. Destroy exhaust gain. The loot phase. Oh, I was misreading loot. Okay, so the loot phase is you have to have a number of cards in their score pile equal to or greater than the cost of the card being bought, and has to match a color. So I'm glad I read that now. That might really clarifies things. Sorry, Patrick, if I misread that rule before. Okay, so we've defeated the monster here with Killforge, so everybody's exhausted. We're not in the loot phase yet, so the Mimic Chest will destroy this card. Everybody draws a card and scores 2. So there's no cards to draw, but I get to score 2 cards. So I could score this red and score this torch. Alright, then this guy goes over here, put this guy in here. Then this is a 5 and this is a 5, so they're not going to do anything until they hit spot 5. And so that's the end of that phase. Then we go to the loot phase. So here's where I was misreading. I'll read the instructions verbatim. The instructions say players may buy up to 1 card from the loot row by having a number of cards in their score pile equal to or greater than the cost of the card being bought. Additionally, one of the cards in the score pile must be the same color, except for gray, can be any colors. The bought card is added to my hand. If I don't buy a card, I may draw a card. It's not a must. So I have 4 cards in my score pile. What does that mean? I can buy anything with a cost on the top left of 4 or less, as long as it is gray or red this turn. I'm not sure if the purple monster reflects that. Let me check. Score pile must be the same color. Yep, so purple does line up with purple. So if there was a purple card in here, because I have this dungeon monster, that would also help. So I can buy anything worth 4 or less that is gray or red. So I can purchase this axe. This axe goes to my hand. Then all the cards in my score pile get grouped back together and they go into my discard pile, because that's just where they go. Then we can do all of our refilling. So refill the loot pile, flip, flip, refresh creatures, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, sorry, at the end of my turn I had to discard another card as well. Oh, might have done that wrong, but not going to change too much this time around. There's not even any creatures out here yet. There we go, there's a creature, there we go, there's another creature. Okay, so we start a new round. Now that I've clarified scoring to myself, that will make things easier. We have 2 monsters on the board here. We have a goblin scrapper and a skeleton archer. My sellswords can only attack the first creature, so this sellsword is going to move up here, which makes him move up 1. He can get rid of a card from the loot pile to deal that much damage to any creature. I like this critical hit card here, 3 damage on a card, so I'm going to try to keep that one. I'm going to get rid of some witchcraft and do 4 damage to this guy. So I know I'm going to do more damage, so I'm not going to put it on there, but he's going to take 4 damage. Then this guy's exhausted. This guy moves up 1. He can get rid of a card from here to do 3 damage if I get rid of this one. And again, I might be sabotaging myself by getting rid of these cards, but we'll see. So I've now done my 6 damage. I don't get any spoils because it's been killed by a sellsword, so that goes in there. And then we have the last sellsword, who technically will be somewhere in the middle, but right now with having no damage it doesn't matter. He could go and attack this guy, a skeleton archer, by getting rid of a card. I'm going to choose not to this time. And then Killforge gets to attack, so he moves up. I get to choose to move to card space 4, score a card, so I can take torch from my hand and score it. So that'll give me 1 more thing to buy with. He can attack 2, so he's going to attack to the nearest monster, which is the archer. It does 2 damage, but I can chain on these 2 disciplines that he has for a total of 6 damage, which effectively kills the archer. So these cards, oops, will go to my discard pile over here. Then I do my 6 damage, I score this card and draw a card. So scoring puts it up here, drawing a card, always shuffle your deck, flip it, shuffle it, draw a card. Okay, and then at the end of my turn, if I had 5 or more, I'd have to discard, which I don't. And that's onto the dungeon phase. I found a potion. What the potion does is say flip a potion over from your pile there and destroy it. So now I'm up to 4 potions, and that's good. Then this one is a 5 action, so nothing happens. And we commence to the loot phase. I've got 2 cards in my spoils, which means I can purchase this cloak because it's gray. When I purchase the cloak, it goes to my hand. Spoils go to my discard pile, or score pile. Score cards go to my discard pile. Okay, and then we refresh. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do a little bit of overhead there. That'll help. This goes over. Refill the dungeon deck. 1, 2, 3, 4. Flip, flip, flip. Loot. Refill that. I'm looking forward to getting that critical hit, but that's going to cost a lot, so we'll see. Okay. And then, of course, if you were playing, you might study all the cards that you flipped over because you're allowed to. But for me right now, I'm just trying to rush through this, see what happens. Okay, so Sellsword is the first to go. Sellsword has 2 potential targets. This guy has a 9 attack, so I may want to get rid of that guy. And you'll notice I haven't taken any damage yet because I've been really focused on attack, attack, attack. So this guy, going to discard this wave. It's going to do 5 damage to this guy, so he's down to 4. This guy gets exhausted, which is actually moved up here. This guy moves up there, which pushes the other guy back, and he can do the same thing. We will eventually, I'm going to run out of cards as well, so this isn't a perfect solution that I'm doing here, but if we take the shield, it does 4 damage, finishes off this cut purse. So 9 damage, he goes in the discard pile. Then we're on to the next one. He's not going to attack. And then Killforge, so he's going to move to space 4, he's already there. I may score a card from my hand, so I'm going to score this guy here, and then I can attack for 2. So attack for 2, the nearest creature. I've got no combo. Attack 4, range 1. No, can't attack with that either. So all I do is 2 damage to this guy. 1, 2. So he survives. I'm exhausted. We move to card 5. Secret Door. Destroy this card. Destroy. And it gets replaced with the top card of the deck, refreshed. What does refresh mean? It means you flip it over and it gets its action turn. So it's a surprise creature in the Secret Door. Then we go back to this one. This guy gets exhausted by attacking. If he's in spot 5 to 6, which he is, he will deal 3 damage to the nearest hero within range 1, 2. If he was back here, he would do something else. So he's going to do 2 damage to my hero. My hero takes damage differently than those guys. He takes damage by having to discard cards. So I'm going to discard my torch. Actually, let's read my card first. I have a cloak. When I'm attacked, I may score this to reduce the damage by 2. So I score that cloak. Ta-da! And now I don't have to take any damage. Oh no, I still have to take 1 damage. When I take damage, I discard as many cards as the damage I've taken. So that was the Orc Warrior's attack. Then we flip over here, that's a 5 effect, so nothing happens. And then this Imp Acolyte has a 6 to 8 attack, so it's in spot 8 right now. It's going to go 3 damage to the farthest hero within range 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's doing 3 damage to Killforge. That's unfortunate, considering I only have 1 card in my hand. So I discard the single card I have, and I effectively, since I can't discard anymore, I become collapsed. I have to go to the back of the row. Everybody else goes forward 1, but since we're all the same right now, just do that. And we'll talk about his recovery after. So he would be exhausted, and then we go to my loot phase. I've got 2 cards, and nothing I can buy for 2. So these cards just group together and they'll go back in my deck. Down here. 1, 2. Okay. Then we're going to refresh. 1, 2, 3. That was devastating for our hero. Move, 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 and flip. So that's one of the reasons why he might not want creatures to survive. They can really bombard you quick. Okay, everything's refreshed. So we start off my turn. I've got 0 cards in my hand. I have to quaff a potion. So when you quaff a potion, you flip it over. And then he flips over, but then his turn is done. He doesn't get to actually attack this turn. If I run out of potions, the game's over. My sellsword can do his attack, so he moves forward, so effectively he's here. He can discard a card, so we're going to discard this glaive to do 5 damage to this guy, so he's down to 3. Then this sellsword is now the first in line, so he'll exhaust, and he's going to try to kill that guy as well. So we're going to kill this beam and do 3 more damage. So this guy's now taken his 8 damage. He goes away. He's dangerous. Then this sellsword, I will choose not to activate this turn. Don't want to waste all my loot. Then we start the dungeon part. It's not in 5, so nothing happens. This guy does 3 damage. 1, 2, 3. So we take 3 shields, put it on my sellsword. Ooh, fast action. Nothing else happens. This is food. That's going to help us recover later. Nothing else happens. I didn't score anything, so I can't buy anything. And then cards advance and refresh. Flip. Loot. Oh, another big bad guy there. Not good. Not good. Flip. Flip. Oh, because I couldn't score, I actually get to draw a card. I might have forgot that last turn, but I would have ended up discarding it anyway. These guys refresh, so I've got my hero back, yay. Then we're at the start of my turn. Start of my turn, I start with Killforge. Always draw a card when it's your hero. Then I can move it to space 4, or I can just activate an attack. I'm going to keep Killforge at the back for now. He's not going to move forward. He's going to activate his torch to attack any monster. So we're going to attack this first monster here. And I'm going to add, do I want to add 2 to it? Or do I need to keep my cards? I'll draw a card anyway, so 3 damage. So now yeah, so I've done my 3 damage. If that, oopsie, darn, I'm not going to get spoils, but oh well, I did 3 damage to him. So now this guy is up to 5 damage. Then we go to this sellsword. He has to move up, so we'll put him there. I will get rid of this hauberk to do 2 damage to this guy. So now he's taken 7 damage and he's dead. Tap him. Alright, then we go to this sellsword who hasn't had a turn yet. He will move to this spot. This guy's got 10 and does a ton of damage, so we're gonna suck the bucket and get rid of another card, do 5 damage to him. I'm gonna put this on the top right just to represent 5 damage. Then this sellsword is going to choose not to damage him, but he will step back 1. Whoopsie. So the damaged sellsword steps back 1 but doesn't do his attack. We go here, the corridor. If there are no boss cards in the dungeon, destroy this card. No problem there. Then this one is not in 5. This one is in spot 8. Move 1 space left and attack to the nearest hero in range 2. So he's going to go 1, 2, attack the nearest hero within range 2. And he's going to take 2 damage. So there we go. 2 damage to another sellsword. And then These are both exhausted. Or no, the food's not exhausted yet. So the food stays where it is, and then at the end of the turn everything advances 1. But sorry, I didn't do my loot phase, but I have nothing to loot, so I just draw a card. And then I advance. Flip, 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 flip. Refresh, 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 refresh. Okay, we're on a new turn, only have 1 card in my hand. Gotta build up some power somehow. So my hero's turn, I draw a card. I've only got 2 torches, so even if I charge forward, I'm just going to put myself in danger, and I don't want to discard all these cards. So, if you do attack 2, so the most damage I could do is 2 to that guy. Instead, he'll just attack with a torch, and the torches attack 1. So he's just going to do 1 damage to him. I don't have any combo cards. Okay, so torch goes in my discard pile. And sellsword here is going to take this guy's spot. I'm going to do get rid of something big here. I can get rid of this critical hit of a 9 up. I don't see myself buying that anytime soon. So it does 5 damage to him. Remember, one of those was a 5, so he's up to 6 damage. So that will finish him off. Actually, I could have gotten rid of this arcane wizardry instead. Do that. 4 damage. Okay, so this guy's dead. No special effect because it was not killed by a hero. Then there's still this guy sitting in the dungeon, a dwarf berserker, and he's going to move left 2 spaces, but then he doesn't attack, so I don't have to discard cards this turn. This guy's just going to flip spots, and everybody's had their turn. We go to the dungeon. The food doesn't do anything yet. The dwarf moves 2 spaces left, 1, 2, but does not attack. The dire rat says in 7 and 8 move left 2 spaces, pushing my healing back, so in order to get time to eat my food, I'm going to have to give it room to advance. Refresh all my guys. Oh, sorry, my loot phase, I would have drawn a card because I have nothing to score. Replace that. Replace that. And on to the next turn, folks. Alright, I've got 2 cards in my hand. It's my hero's turn. I draw a card. We're going to play it risky. He's going to use his action to move to the front of the row. When he moves to the front of the row, he can attack 2 to the nearest monster. So he's going to do 2 damage, 4 damage, and 6 damage. So one of the reasons it's better to have this player near the front is I'll be scoring more cards. So even though it's a dangerous spot, I can't really score with my sellsword, so my hero really needs to lead the charge. So I did 2 plus, so we're going to put this up here to represent 5 and this down here to represent 1. So he's taken 6 damage, he's at 9. And then I can score a card, I choose not to. Okay, then this sellsword moves up to this spot. And he can attack, so he's going to attack that guy for 3, get rid of that. When he does 3 damage, he's already taken his 6, so he is dead. We're plowing through this dungeon, 1 creature at a time. Then this guy can go, he's going to step backwards. I'm sorry, when he steps backwards, just pushes this guy forward 1. The rat, he's 5 to 6. Within range 2, so I don't want to take 3 damage, so I really need to kill this rat. So 7 damage I have to do. So what do I want to do there? Yep. Okay, so 7 damage I want to do. I'm going to have to get rid of 2 cards no matter what. I'm going to get rid of this cyclone. He does 5 damage, so the guy's down to 2. Then this sellsword has to move no matter what, so he moves up here. And 4 more damage. Okay, so that goes in there. So is dead, doesn't get scored. And that's the end of all my heroes' turns. And I have to pause for a moment here. So let's just find those pause buttons. Alright, so let's double check what phase I was in, because I had to take a quick step away there. And that's the good thing about exhausting your creatures. If you have to step away, you know which ones have had their turn and which ones haven't. So we went through the dungeon phase. We were on to food. Food doesn't do anything until you get to phase or card slot 5, so that's good. The dire bear. Oh, he looks tough. Look at that rough shell on his back. Devastating claws. This guy, when he's in slot 7, 8, moves 2 spaces left. 1, 2, charges forward. Still blocking that food that we probably are going to need soon. Okay, nothing else there. We have nothing to score, so we draw a card. The deck is empty, so we take our deck, flip it over, shuffle it up, draw a card, and ready for the next round. Not quite. Refresh our guys. They're no longer exhausted. Step down, everybody's ready. These guys shift over. The bear is now really close. We're gonna have to take care of that before he kills our hero. The loot line refills. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, we're ready for another round. Start off with this cell sword, so he has to move up. This guy has to move back. I can get rid of a card in the loot row to try to wound this dire bear. I have very little in my hand, so it might be up to the cell swords to kill this guy. So we're going to be losing lots more good equipment, including this critical hit that I've been looking at. So 5 damage, put it on the top right to represent that. Then we do the next cell sword because he's first in line. He pushes that guy back. He's going to do the same thing. Try to deal some damage. He can only do 2 or 3 damage. We're going to do 3 damage. So now he's up to 8. I'll still remember that. This cell sword is not going to kill him, which brings me to, but he has to move, so he'll move here, and then it's Killforge's turn. Killforge will draw his card, up to 3 cards, which is good. Push this guy back, because his action says he can move to slot 4. Then I can score a card from my hand if I wish, so we'll score that. Maybe I won't score it, because I don't want to take too much damage. So he's going to attack this guy for... Actually, you know what? I will score 1 card, just so we can buy these hides. Okay, so action, move it to space 4, then I can score a card, which I just did. If I do, oh, I had to do it anyway, attack 2. So I do 2 damage to this guy. He's already taken 8 damage, so I've slayed the dire bear with my mighty axe. And whatever I just, yeah, with his axe. Spoils score this card, so that'll go to my spoils pile. And I draw 3 cards and score 2. So, not bad. 1, 2, 3 cards, and I have to take 2 of them from my hand. Might as well do the creatures and put them in there. So now that's the end of that attack phase. We continue down the line. The food does nothing yet. This fire elemental doesn't move, but it attacks heroes that are in space 1 and 2. So it hits the guys at the back of the line that you thought were safe. What a mean elemental. It's going to do 2 damage to both of them. Ouch. So 2 damage to this cell sword, 2 damage to this cell sword. This guy's at 5 damage, 1 more and he's toast. And that's all he does. So he's exhausted. Then the dire rat says if he's in spot 7 and 8, he just moves left 2 spaces, which pushes our food back again. But he does not attack. That's the end of the dungeon row. Then we go to the score phase. I've got 4 score cards, so I can buy something worth 4 that matches a symbol. So the only thing I can purchase is these hides, which go directly to my hand. And since I bought a card, I don't draw a card. These cards go into my discard pile. Then refresh these wounded cell swords, taking them for the team. All this slides over. We still have 33 cards left in our dungeon deck, so this is a long play here. Maybe it'll speed up as we get more cards in our hand, who knows. Those all flip over. Alright, we are on to the next round. We've got a dire rat at the front and a lineup of devastating creatures. Dire rat, elemental, dire bear. So we're going to have to go all out with the attacks. This guy's going to move up. And then he's going to attack this dire rat. What are we going to discard? Let's discard a mortal backstab. So we're going to do 5 damage to the rat. Okay, it's got 1 life left. Then the next cell sword's going to move forward, which pushes the other guy back. We will get rid of this breastplate. Do 2 damage, which will finish off this dire rat. It's killed by a cell sword, so it goes to the discard pile. Then this cell sword goes, so he'll move up to Killforge's spot. He's going to do damage to this guy here. So how much damage does he want to do? 4. He's going to do 4 damage to it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm around to Killforge's turn. I need to do 5 damage. What do I have? I've got some permanent armor. When I'm attacked, I can score that card to reduce the damage by 2, draw a card, discard a card, and I can only attack for 1 damage. Ooh. But on my turn I draw a card, because it's Killforge's turn. It's not a combo card, it's just another protective card, but that being the case, knowing that I'm not going to kill this elemental, I'm going to move Killforge back 1 to protect this guy from dying. And then he's going to do a normal attack with a torch. So he's going to do 1 whole damage. 1 step closer to victory. Alright, everybody's had their turns. I didn't use his action. The food does nothing. The elemental does 2 damage to Killforge, which we will protect with my hides. So what happens is I score that card to reduce the damage by 2. Then I can draw a card and discard a card. Alright. Then we go to this guy, takes 2 damage, which means he is defeated. Sorry, bub. Flip him over, goes to the back of the line. He is, what's that word? Collapsed from the fire elemental's vicious attack. Then the dire bear does his move 2 spaces left, pushes everything back again. Alright, we go to the loot phase. I have 1 card, so that's just going to go to the discard pile, meaning I get to draw a card. Then we refresh everything. Bear moves closer, he's ready to destroy us. Elemental that's wounded is way in the back. Loot cards move over. Everything's happening at a rapid pace as we dash through the dungeon. Okay, next turn. This cell sword must quaff a potion. I don't have a choice. I flip him over, he's healed again, but he's exhausted. Then Killforge gets a turn, so I draw a card. Alright. Okay. What else are we gonna do here? So everything's refreshed. This guy quaffed his potion, so Killforge drew my card. Gonna flip this over, shuffle it. Might have misdrawn my card there, I'm not sure, but that's okay. Then I can move forward in the line to charge this dire bear. I've got an axe in my hand with a range 1. So that's not, I can't use my axe if I'm not at the front of the line. But you can do 2 damage plus 2 damage will be 4 damage. This guy's going to attack 3. So I think I'm going to leave that cell sword there. We'll move him forward 1. And he's going to initiate a normal attack with a torch and throw on this thing. So he's going to do 3 damage to the bear in hopes that the cell swords can finish him off. So 1, 2. Good. Then we move on to the next guy. This cell sword, he's actually going to move up the line to try to dodge the fire elemental's attack. Because at least Killforge has a cloak to protect him. So then he can discard a card from here. We'll discard this Quake to do 5 damage. So now the Dire Bear is up to 7. Only has 2 defense left. Which means this Sellsword, which does have to move, moves that guy forward. That's unfortunate. And he's going to do 3 damage with this bow. Alright, so the Dire Bear has been killed. There's nothing gained for it. Boo. Okay. Then the characters are done their attacks. We move to the food. The food's been sitting around rotting. We can't do anything with it though, so it just gets to stay there. Fire Elemental is still alive, so they get to trigger their attack. So we're going to do 2 damage to the revived Sellsword and 2 damage to Killforge. At permanent armor, when I'm attacked, I score this to reduce that damage by 2, so I don't take any damage. That guy's attack is done. This guy's in spot 6 to 8, so he's going to attack 3 damage to the farthest hero in range 4, which is going to kill this guy. Sorry, Sellswords, take one for the team. You flip over, you're collapsed, everybody advances 1. And that's that guy's turn. Then we go to the loot phase. I have 1 card, so I can't afford to buy anything, so all I do is draw a card. Then refresh, 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 move over, move over, move over, flip, move these over, flip, flip. Alright, quaff a potion at the beginning of my next turn to flip this guy. He's exhausted. And let's see, we've got to kill the elemental and we've got 2 other guys. Now the zombie puker attacks within range 4. He's going to do 3 damage to whoever's there, so that's unfortunate. We'll have to make sure that the guy that's there does not die. This guy's going to shoot in the distance too. So first off, this Sellsword moves back. He can do some damage. What do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have to do 4 damage. We're going to get rid of this crossbow and destroy this guy. Okay, Fire Elemental's finally gone, so the guys in the back don't have to be as worried anymore. Then Killforge will... He has a range 1 with the axe, so he cannot actually attack anything with the axe. All he can do is move forward to spot 4 with his action. And when beginning my turn, I draw a card. Drew a Dire Bear, yippee. So like he can attack 2 to the nearest monster, so 2 damage goes to this guy. Okay, I've got no combo cards, can't make that any better. Then this Sellsword. Oh no, I already used both my Sellswords. Okay, so that's the end of their turn, but the food finally made its way to us, so we destroy this card. Each player draws a card. There's only 1 player, even though there's 4 guys. So I draw a card, and each ally removes a damage. So that guy heals 1. The food is destroyed. We go off to the Acolyte. It's going to attack the farthest hero in range 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this guy's going to take 4 damage. Nothing to prevent that, because he is not a hero. Oops. So he's got 4 damage. He doesn't move. Then this guy does an attack 3 to the farthest hero in range 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Killforge takes 3 damage, but he's got this armor here. This armor protects 2 of it. Then I can draw a card and discard a card. So I drew a card, I can discard a card, and then I take 1 more damage, so I'll discard the bear. Okay, so their attacks are done, they're exhausted. Then we go to the loot phase. I've actually scored 3 cards. I've got green and purple, so I could buy a purple dagger or a... Yeah, that's all I can buy. So I'm going to buy a purple dagger, it goes right to my hand. These cards get grouped together, go to my discard pile. Everything gets refreshed. Everything shifts over because we have to have a full dungeon. This is a scary dungeon, but we have the loot to back it up. Okay, no potions to quaff. Everybody's still alive. We're on to the next round. The sellsword advances here. When he moves forward, he can do some damage to this guy by killing a card. We'll kill this flare. This is going to do 5 damage, so this has now taken 7 damage. So that is dead. Then this sellsword goes, he has to move ahead. There's 3 creatures in the line, so it's probably important that I do damage. So we're going to do 4 damage with this to this guy. So I'm just going to mark that there. He's taking 4 damage this turn. Then this sellsword can move forward 1 or stay where he is. Now this axe I want to use for range 4. But yeah, I can do that. So he's going to move forward. Move Killforge back. And he is not going to attack this. Yeah. Do I have a combo card? Nope. Really need a combo card to do that guy in 1 hit. Because I wanted Killforge to kill the Puker. So this guy's not going to attack. But then Killforge will push him back 1. And then he will attack with his axe with a range. Oh no, he only has a range of 1 anyway, so wouldn't have been able to kill him. So this guy will get rid of that, do 4 damage to this guy. So he'd already taken 4, that guy is dead. And then Killforge steps forth to the plate. And he is going to do a regular attack. He gets to draw a card because it's his turn. And then he may score a card. I'm going to choose not to. I'm going to choose not to because I want it for discarding when I get attacked. And then he does 2 damage to the nearest monster, and I've got nothing to combo it with. That's too bad. Alright, then nothing. The Acolyte, we know what he does. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to do 3 to the nearest hero in range 4. So actually, bad move on my part. Should have left that guy in the front. This guy dies. Flip him over, he's exhausted. These guys shift up. This guy goes there. Then we go to the rat. The rat moves 2 spaces left. Doesn't do an attack. I've got nothing to buy, so I draw a card. Refresh. Shift over, or advance. Good. Refill the loot. Gonna run out of these soon. I can't remember if I shuffle those back up later. So I will quickly read the rules and see what they say. Loot phase. Okay. Advancing, moving, player's turns. I guess that would be in the advancing rows. If at the end of turn there's less than 4 cards, they must be advanced. If a monster card is drawn, it's placed in the dungeon exhausted. I don't see anything that talks about if the deck runs out, so I'm going to play it just like the player deck, where this will get flipped over and shuffled. Again, I could be playing this wrong, but that's how I'm going to play it, just so I can finish this game. It means there is no actual penalty for using the sellsword's ability, but I don't know how else to play it right now. So flip this over. Good there. Oops. Hotkeying myself to death here. Okay. So then I have to quaff a potion. Flip my guy. He's exhausted. This sellsword, I'm going to attack this dire rat. We've got 3, 3, 3, and 3, so which one I take doesn't matter so much. I don't have a gold card in my hand, so that guy's taking 3 damage. This guy advances 1, but then the other guy's going to push him back 1. And he's going to do the same thing. He's taken 3 damage, so now he's going to take 3 more damage. So the rat has taken 6 damage. He is dead. We go to Killforge's turn. He's at the front of the row. I draw a card naturally for him, and then I decide, do I want to just move an action or do I want to use his action? Knowing I'm going to have to discard cards, there's nobody in front of me, I can't use my axe still. So I could use a torch or his action. I guess I'll use his action. So he moves to space 4, then he can score a card. So I can pick any card in my hand to score. We'll score the axe. That's not been useful at all for me. Oh, it might be if I don't kill him. Whatever. Okay, and then we use my torch, because I can only attack within a range 1, which is right there. So torch does 1 damage. I've got nothing to combo it with. Oh, I can attack 2 with my dagger, so let's attack 2 with my dagger. But I still put that there. So I attack 2 at a range of 2 to 3, so 2 damage to this guy. He's now taken 4 damage. If I had a combo, I could finish him off, but I can't. And then I have less than 5 cards, so I don't discard. Then the impact light gets to attack to the furthest hero in range 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he's going to do 3 more damage. So this guy's taking a beating. Okay. Then the food stays there. The goblin scrap removes 1 space left. There's nobody in range 2, so he doesn't do any damage. Go to the loot phase. I've got 1 card, so I don't buy anything. So I just, I guess that would go group. Put all that in there. This would end up there after. Shuffle these and draw a card since I didn't buy a card. So that's my loot phase. Refresh, 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 refresh. Over, 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 over. Flip. Over. Alright. We're good. Starting the next round. How many cards are left? Still 25 cards, folks. A lot to work through here. This cell sword, we're just going to try to destroy everything we can. Not sure how an orc warrior ended up there. Oh, I must have put it on the wrong deck. So flip that over. Oh, oops. Oh, that's why I put creatures in here by mistake. Okay. So cell sword moves up. That guy's going to move back anyway, so we're just going to leave things the way they are. He's going to do 4 damage to the front guy, which will kill him. Probably should have discarded a 3, but it is what it is. Shift that over. And then this guy, they would have swapped places, but he's going to do damage to this guy. I'm going to say 4 more damage. So that goes there. He takes 4 damage. Then we're on to this cell sword. He can swap with Killforge, and he can do 3 damage by killing this card. Actually, we'll do this one instead. 3 damage. This guy is dead. Put it over here. Okay. And then food doesn't do anything, and the archer attacks 3 to the furthest hero in range 4. So this guy's taking 3 damage from an arrow from a skeleton archer. Ouch. I remember those kind of guys in Hero Quest. Okay. Attack phase is over. I've got nothing scored, so I can't buy anything. So I draw a card. We refresh our cards. My guys are in danger of being mortally wounded. I have no potions, so this game is... I'm almost about to lose, actually. That's too bad. Flip, 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 flip. Creature doesn't count. Flip. Okay. Then this guy... Oh, the food moves over, so at least we're going to get some food. Maybe my guys will survive. And just 2 creatures now. Okay, I have lots of cards in my hand, but that's okay because it is my turn. So this first cell sword, again, we're going to do the same thing. They're going to swap places, so I won't move them. He's going to be able to do damage to this archer. It's a cyclone. These cell swords are good. 5 damage. So that is dead. This cell sword would have moved back or swap places, so he can do the same thing to this guy. 4 damage to that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And Killforge can move up 1, draw my card for the turn, activate his ability, so 2 damage to the nearest monster. He's going to do 2 to this guy, and then if I have a combo card, which I don't right now, so just 2 damage. That guy is not dead. He's taken 6. Too bad, hey? Okay, those are all exhausted. The food takes effect. Each player, I have to discard 1, 2 cards. Okay, then I get to draw a card from the food. I discarded cards because of Killforge's end of turn thing, but the food lets me draw a card and heal 1 each. Okay, and the food goes away into this discard pile. Then we go to the treasure chest. That doesn't happen until slot 5. This guy moves 2 spaces left. 1, 2. Okay, and then I can't buy anything, so I draw a card. These advance, this advances, oh, this advances, flip, flip, everything refreshes. Heroes are a bit closer to surviving. This goes left, left, left. Okay, still no potions. Unfortunately, Killforge is last, so he's not going to be able to finish this guy off. This Sellsword will... that treasure chest doesn't belong there. That doesn't belong there. That doesn't belong there. Okay, so we're going to do 3 damage. Again, I'm probably playing this part of the game wrong, so I apologize. 3 damage will kill this guy. He will be added to this mess. Then this player, well, they would have swapped places and swapped back again. So he will attack the nearest creature, which is a 9. Going to do 5 damage to it. Okay. Actually, just use 1 on the top right to represent 5 damage. Good. So I'm around to this Sellsword. Swaps places with Killforge. And he can do 4 damage to it with a crossbow. Why not? So now he's just got 1 life left. And then Killforge's turn. So Killforge... got no combo cards. So Killforge goes here, pushes that guy back. It's going to do 2 damage, which will finish this guy off. I forgot to draw my card for the turn. And I can score a card, so score that. Then this is destroyed. Score this card. Draw 2 cards. And score 1. So I can score this. Oh, I did have a boost attack. I want to save that. Score this purple. Color doesn't matter because I don't have gold. Okay, so that guy's dead. Loot phase, I can buy something for 3 if I match a color. Don't have anything that matches a color. So I flip this over, shuffle, and draw a card. I think I might have lost my element somewhere. No, I don't know where I put my elements, but so these guys get grouped together, go back into my discard pile. Okay, I drew my card. Oh, I have to discard. I should have 6 cards in my hand at the end of the turn because I would have to discard and then draw 1 during the score phase. So there we go, 6 cards. Everything moves over. Flip. Flip. Everything moves over. Oh, that one's the correct one. Okay. Easy refresh. 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 Alright. And Sellsword. There's an archer to attack, so he goes here. This guy's going to swap, so I'm just going to do this twice. Can do up to 7 damage. So we've got 2, 4, and 3. So we're going to do 4 and this one. So that's going to be 7 damage between the two of them. We'll kill that guy. Then this guy will move up, but Killforge is going to move back. He's not going to do an action. Killforge on my turn. I draw a card. I can attack a creature that I want to, but there's no creature I want to attack. But I can... you may score a card, but scoring a card is not going to do anything. So I won't score a card. I have to discard cards to get down to a certain amount of cards. Oops. So we'll say 1, 2 cards discard. Oh, I'm allowed to have 5 cards in my hand. Okay. All that's done. Treasure chest. Destroy this. Each player draws 3 cards and discards or scores 2. Okay. So 1, 2. Oh, gotta put these back here. Flip. Shuffle. Draw 2 more. And I can score 2 cards. Oh, and Killforge then could have scored 1. So let's say Killforge did score 1, and then that let me score 2 more. So 1, 2. So 3 scored now, and I'll be able to buy that if I had a red card there. So plan all that out. That'll help me. Mimic Chest is not on a 5, and the corridor, there's no boss cards. Destroy this. Okay. Then I spend these 3, group them together. I've got a red in there. So if I have a red in there, I can then buy this red card. Goes to my hand. Reset everything. Shift it over. Shift, shift, shift. Flip, flip, flip. Okay. Keep bringing in the loot. Again, the only thing I'm not sure if I'm doing right is if I was supposed to reload the loot deck. Just because I couldn't find that while I was playing here. Okay, so we're on a new turn, and Sellsword can attack. There's a demon way down there, so let's just replace that. Demon, let's do 5 damage with a mental backstab. We'll use this to represent 5 damage. This guy goes here. Do I have enough in my hand to do 5 damage? No. So I'm going to have to do another attack. These guys basically swapped places. We're going to do 4 damage with this one. So he's up to 9 damage. This guy's not going to attack. He'll move up, but Killforge will push him back. And then Killforge will take his turn. I will draw a card. He's going to activate his ability to attack the nearest monster, which is here, for 2 damage. He's already taken 9, so he is dead. When this guy dies, I score this card, and I draw 3 cards and score 2. 1, 2, 3 cards and score 2. And score a purple, for example, and then what do I want to buy that costs 3? A breastplate would have to be gold. I don't have a gold card in my hand. Oh, good thing the demon's gold. Okay. And the secret door, nothing happens. Trap, nothing happens. Mimic chest. Each player draws a card, then scores 2. So I must draw a card. I think that might be the wrong typing on there. Then I score 2. 1, 2. Okay. Then that gets destroyed. Okay. Then we go to the loot phase. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which means I can actually gain the quake. This turn it goes to my hand. Oh, I would have had to discard 2 cards to be at 5. And then I draw this card. When I gain it, these get grouped together. They go to the discard. Way down here. Okay. Then we refresh everything. 1, 2, 3, 4. Building up a bit of a engine here. That's not in my hand. This is... oh, there's one of my energies I was missing. Not sure how that ended up over there. Flip, flip. That's still a creature. I had them mixed into the deck, so that was a mistake on my part. Okay, we've got 4 loots. These slide over, these slide over, slide over, slide over. Okay. Really don't have time to play this out any longer. This video will be too long for YouTube as it is, so I will, actually I can play it in a couple sessions, so maybe we can finish. There's only 14 cards left. So what I'm going to do is pause recording and then start recording again. So stop, start. Okay, so there might have been a small break in there. Refresh, 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 refresh. That's probably going to be needed to be drawn from soon, so shuffle that up. Still don't have any potions, so if I take any lethal damage, the game will end. So start with this sellsword. You can do 5 damage to the nearest creature. So he'll do 5 damage to this demon. Then he swaps that guy. This guy goes up. He can do 3, 3, or 2. 3 damage bolt to this guy. So now he's got 8 damage. This sellsword will choose not to attack. Then he'll move forward. Killforge will swap places with him. Killforge's turn, I draw a card. Then I can attack the nearest monster for 2 damage. He's already at 8, so he's dead. When he dies, I score him. When I score him, I draw 3 cards. 1, 2, 3, and score 2. 1, 2. Yeah. Score 2. I have to discard some cards because I have too many cards in my hand. So 1, 2, 3. Got 5 cards left in my hand. Okay, then we move on to here. Fire trap. 1 damage to all heroes. That guy's in trouble. Oh, it just says 1 damage to all. Yeah, my allies are heroes too. Everybody takes a damage. I have to discard a card. I'll use my cloak. Okay, then secret door. Destroy this card. Destroy this card. Replace it with the top card of the dungeon card. Refreshed. So now the rat does has a range 2, 1, 2, so it's going to do 2 damage to me. I can play my permanent armor, score this, reduce the damage by 2, and deal 2 damage to the attacking monster. Take that, rat! Wha-bam! Surprise, surprise. That guy attacked. Then we're on to the human cultist. So the cultist will remove 2 damage from the monster with the most. Okay. So he's a healer. Nice. And then, so all that's been done. I have 5 cards to score with. So take these 5 cards, put them in my discard pile. I can buy something worth 5. See if I had a purple amongst them. I did not, so I can't buy a purple card. So the only card I can gain is this one. Those will all end up getting moved over. This over here. Okay. Then refresh, 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 refresh. Move over, flip. Got a door there. So on to the next turn. So what are we going to do now? We've got this guy. He moves forward. He's going to swap places with that sellsword. He's going to do 5 damage right here. When he does 5 damage, he kills that guy. Okay. Then this guy can do some damage. He's going to move places with this guy. Well, technically he couldn't because he would have been swapping with that guy. So he can do some damage. I'm going to save that 5 this time and do a 5 damage flare. So this guy's taking 5 damage. He has 4 left. Then this guy can move back 1 to push this guy forward. Oh no, that was that guy. Sorry if I'm messing things up here. Killforge, draws card, Quake, attack 4, spaces 6 and 7. So yeah, he's gonna just move forward 1 and use an actual action. He's not going to use that action. So he's going to Quake. His Quake will say attack 4, spaces 6 and 7. So this guy's going to take 4 damage. He's already taken 5, so he is effectively dead. When that guy dies, I score this card, draw 2 cards, and score 1. Sure. I got 5 cards in hand, so I'm safe there. Then we go to these turns, so destroy this, everybody takes a damage. 1, 2, 3, and I discard a card. Sure, we'll discard the axe. And I'm going to keep my breastplate. Okay, so that one's destroyed. Then the door says, when advancing in the dungeon, those cards are face down until this is activated. Okay, score. Do I have anything to buy for 2? Nope. So these go here. Because I didn't buy a card, I draw a card. And then refresh. We're getting close to the end, folks. Bear with me. The door comes up. Then we grab our cards. Okay. Now these guys don't attack this turn. Oh, we wouldn't have seen those yet. Okay. Refresh the loot pile. Take out the stuff that's not loot. Did I put there by mistake? Okay, so that's my element card that I was forgetting. Too bad. That's a dungeon card. Yeah. So we've got this guy. These are both 4s, so they're going to end up swapping places with each other and doing nothing. This guy will go there, but then Killforge will push him back. Killforge will draw a card. He has to discard a card. He can score 1, but he chooses not to. Then we get to the door's turn. It's a 5, so the door opens. Flips over. Oh, when that flips over, how does that door read? Monsters and heroes may not target. When you do 5, destroy this card, flip all face down dungeons, face up and refresh. So basically these are ready to attack us. It's kind of a surprise we didn't get a chance to attack first, which is dangerous because these are the next cards in line. So now this guy gets a free attack. He does, he's in spot 6, so he's going to do 3 damage to the farthest hero in 1, 2, 3, 4, range 4. So 3 damage, that kills this guy. Sorry, bub. Took all these tokens off. I think we may have just died because he goes there, he's destroyed. So that guy's done his thing. Then this guy gets to attack 3 to the nearest hero in range 2. There are none. If he's too far away, oh, he's in spot 6 to 8. Move 1 space left, push that back. He's going to do 2 damage to the nearest hero in range 2. 2 damage to my guy, can put on my armor, prevent 2 damage. Any leftover damage, and switch spaces with that hero. That doesn't matter because there's only one hero that can use that armor. Oh, an adjacent hero is attacked. There's nobody adjacent, so can't use that on him. One thing I'm not certain about, and I'll check with the designer, is can you use armor cards on ally heroes? And if so, I probably could have protected him. Because what it says here is when you or an adjacent hero is attacked, you may score this to reduce the amount of damage by 2. Now that's not an adjacent hero, and I assume I'm the only hero. I don't think I can play it for my other guys. So that makes playing solo a little bit harder if I'm playing correctly at all, because I don't really know what to loot if I'm playing correctly either. So then we go to the door, nothing happens. Then we go to scoring. I can't buy anything, so I would draw a card. I purchased nothing that heals anything, so when my guy has to quaff a potion, he dies. And let's read about allies. If a single ally dies, I'm pretty sure I lose the game. Collapsed heroes. If there are no face-up potions to quaff, the heroes lose the game. So it's all for one and one for all. This guy died. My game is over. So there you have it. That is a full playthrough of Dungeon Brawler as best I know how, based on my 3 attempts to play so far. So this video is a bit long, but it does kind of go through each of the steps for you as best I can, reading through the rulebook. Remember that these tokens aren't part of the game. There are cards that slide up and down to represent the health or damage that your character has suffered. And really like some of the mechanics in the game. I like the advancement, the surprises of the doors, the secret doors, the traps all keep an element of surprise in the game, and even though most of the cards are face up. A little bit of confusion with the scoring mechanisms, but I'm sure with a little bit more detail put into the rulebook, that would play much better. And then getting to these guys, I don't know how hard these devastating bosses would be, but it'll be fun to try them out when the time comes. Hopefully you enjoyed this playthrough of Dungeon Brawler by Patrick Peterson, live on Kickstarter now. Check it out if you're interested, and we'll talk to you next time.